better.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Anthem is the U.S. Navy Ceremonial Guard performing the colors for the national anthem.
Advance the colors. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Retire the colors.
And one last thing, since I don't know whether Vic noticed that there's sort of a naval background to today's meeting, but I came across this and thought it's worth the time to listen to.
Eternal Father, strong to save, whose arm hath bound the restless wave, who bids the mighty ocean deep its own appointed limits keep. Oh, hear us when we cry to thee, for those in peril on the sea.
So without further ado, Vic Dennis is going to give us his presentation this morning. And thank you so much, Vic, for doing all of the speakers for this month. And we really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Before I get into the activities here, let me just step back a minute and tell you how I got here. I got tired of, I lived alone for 5 years after Margaret passed away. So I got tired of cooking and cleaning. And so that's kind of what led me to here. I had already had friends here. So I was not a total stranger. I've been here as their guest. One of my med-ed retirees years ago said, when he came here, he was talking to the development director. And he said, now look, I want a widow on one side that can cook and the one on the other side that can sew on buttons. I have nice neighbors, but neither one of them, well, you don't have to cook and I still have to sew on my own buttons. But anyway, that's kind of how I got here. It's a little bit about Moravian. It's not cheap being here. They require a big, very sizable upfront deposit and a fairly sizable monthly rent. But the food is good. We have dinner. Let's see, what am I having tonight for dinner? How about a chef salad or crab cake with peanut butter silk pie for dessert? So the food is good, but you know what the best part is? I don't have to cook it. I don't have to clean up afterwards. And the other thing, periodically, there's a crew comes in, cleans the apartment, changes the sheet, and gives me clean towels. So I don't even have to touch that part of the laundry. I do have a nice washer dryer down the end of the hall for my personal laundry. I have a nice big apartment, nice size living room, good sized bedroom. This is a small room, or I call it my office, where I have my computer and file cabinet. And so life is good here. Do I miss my house? Yeah, I had wonderful neighbors. I'll tell you what I really miss, though, more than anything else, is not having a garage. It was middle of the winter. They do clean your car off for snow, but it's cold when you get in it. It's hot in the summertime and it gets dirty. But on the whole, hey, at this stage, after living alone, I just felt it was time to move on. So basically, that's why I'm here. All kinds of activities. Said they have good food at night. A couple of years ago, they had a miniature golf tournament. And the first time I ever got my picture on the front page of the weekly newsletter, because I won the tournament. They have bus trips. Last week, they took a bus trip to Marblehead. And we had a nice dinner down at Marblehead. Of course, we paid our way, but they provided transportation back and forth. And they provided bus trips to a lot of different things. If I can find my list, here it is. There's going to be a trip to the Allentown Symphony, and then a trip to Hershey, and a trip to Braden's Airport to see the plane that the man built himself. And we have a lot of good programs here. The builder of that airplane came and gave us an hour-long presentation. He ordered the parts and showed us how he built it. And this airplane is not any little Piper Cub. It has 150 horsepower Lycoming engine with top speed of 160 miles an hour. So that's a pretty hot little airplane. And I understand someone is building one similar to that. Right, Jim? So somebody said, do you want to go? Would you go for a ride? Sure. I love to fly single engine planes, and so I'm available anytime you need a co-pilot, Jim. But
honored to have you.
That's out of Braden's, Bach at noon, and then something called our National Shrine. And these places are by bus. They take you there. Past trips, we had a trip to Steamtown, and a trip to Pearl Buck's house. And frequently they have entertainment. Tonight is a Glenn Miller one-man band. I don't know if any of you have seen him. I have seen him before. He plays the accordion, the trumpet, and the harmonica. Now, not all at the same time, and he has a wicked sense of humor and puts on a funny show. So I'm looking forward to that. And we have frequent good programs down in the chapel. This place is very lovely. They have a beautiful chapel with stained glass windows that will probably accommodate, I would guess, 100, 150 people. The other thing they have here that I enjoy is a beautiful library. And I like to read. So right now I'm working on one book I just about finished. So after a while, I'll go down and get another book out of the library. What else can I tell you? They do provide transportation here if you need it. For those who do not have or still not driving, unfortunately, thank the good Lord, I'm still driving, but you can arrange for transportation to doctor's offices and those sort of things. Like I said, I had my next door neighbor is a nurse, and she came over, checked me out a couple of weeks ago, called the staff nurses. The next thing I knew, I was in an ambulance headed for Anderson Hospital, where they poked around, gave me a couple of shots, and sent me home, and I feel fine since then. So every Wednesday night they have a variety of programs, and then they have exercise programs. You can be about as active as you want to be here. Here's every month they send out a newsletter. This is the last half of the month of August. So let's see, what are the activities for the Monday night is 7 o'clock is at Bridge, which I play. Tuesday, 2 o'clock is Rummy Cube, and I enjoy that. 7 o'clock is Scrabble, which I'm a lousy speller, so I'll leave that to someone else. Thursday, 7 o'clock is Pinochle, for the people who like to play cribbage. Cribbage is at 1 o'clock. And Saturday night down in the chapel is the movie James Bond, Dr. No. So I'm not sure what else I can tell you about Moravian Hall Square. That's kind of in a nutshell what they offer here. Like I said, I have a nice apartment. It gets cleaned periodically. I've made a lot of nice friends. I mentioned my neighbor Barbara, who was a retired nurse, but across the hall is Dee, who is acquainted with my and Hildegard, who both knew Margaret through URW, then Hal, and nice couple down the hall, and Ruth and Les Anderson. Oh, by the way, down on the south end of the property, the campus, in about I guess a half an acre, there are dozens of raised beds. So I have a bed down there, a garden. This year I had leaf lettuce, and I have 4 tomato plants. It's provided me with tomatoes and a green pepper plant. And I still had some room down at the end of the bed, so I put in a half a dozen petunia plants just to give it a little color. I don't know what more I can tell you about life up here at Moravian Hall Square. Do I miss my house? I'll tell you 2 things I miss. One thing I mentioned is the garage. The other thing I mentioned is the workshop. I used to like putter around. I had a nice workshop with a variety of power tools. I built small things, whirligigs, birdhouses, and those kinds of things. And so, you know, life is a series of pluses and minuses. Fortunately, I think on the whole, my decision to move here has more pluses than minuses. One minus I might say is that Nazareth is some distance from most of my activities. You know, when I used to meet downtown Easton for Kiwanis, my church is down that way. My kids are, one's in Forks Township, one is in Bethlehem Township. And so I haven't put in a lot more miles on my old car, which is 21 years old and has 122,000 miles on it. But I'm still nursing kids. Other than going downtown occasionally and the church and what have you, I really drive very little. So what more can I tell you? Are there any questions that I can
Yeah,
answer?
Vic, I have a question.
Yes.
You know, you mentioned that the calendar has you know, games and so forth like that. But I was wondering, since you said that you like to putter around with your power tools, do they do any arts and crafts there?
There is down in the basement. There's a complete woodworking shop. But you know, without a pickup truck to go get lumber, and I don't know, I just kind of, I've not gotten interested in it. Let me just look at this. On Wednesday at 1 o'clock, they're needle workers. Beats me what needle workers are.
I'm assuming embroidery, maybe embroidery,
Probably.
I guess, or lace, or
Yeah.
you can come and help James in his shop.
And the other thing is, if you need a truck to haul some lumber or a trip to Ace or Lowe's or Home Depot or whatever, we can do that for you, Vic. We can
Okay.
absolutely do that for you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the offer.
In fact, we would be honored and delighted. It would make our day, make our week, make our month, make our year to be able to help you with stuff like that.
For years, I had a pickup truck, as many of you know. And when you loan a house, it's nice to have a pickup truck. And that was the kind of the spare vehicle. My grandson borrowed it. My daughter borrowed it. My neighbors borrowed it. So it was a kind of the go-to truck for the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But when I moved up here, there's only one parking spot, so I sold it to another neighbor down the road. And she
Everybody
bought
loves
it
a
for
man
me.
with a truck.
Pardon?
I said, everybody loves a man with a truck.
I'm sorry.
I said, everybody loves a man with a truck.
Oh, gotcha. You're right. You're right. Yeah. I used to keep my golf clubs in there, you know, I just throw them in the start of the season. They never came out unless I was hauling something. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vic, how many years did you work for Med Ed?
36,
And how many years you been retired?
21.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. You're doing all right. 36 and 21.
Let me tell each and every one of you, I have been blessed in many, many ways. I have a wonderful, loving family. I have good friends up here. I have a convenient place to live. Oh, by the way, Bill, thanks for that prelude and the Navy color guard. I don't know if you can see it or not, but I have my Navy shirt on today just by coincidence.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I did put 21 years in, all told, in the Navy. So that's what helps. My pension from Navy, as you know, Jim, that's what helped pay my way up here, because it's not cheap.
I knew we had more than one Navy person was going to be on the meeting today, so I thought it would be very nice to be celebrating the Navy. Vic, I got a couple of questions for you, but I won't hog the meeting. I'll jump around. Have you heard any conversations about whether they're going to be installing electric charging for people as we move into the new world, cars are going to be run on electricity. And just wondering whether they've had any conversations up there, what they might be doing.
No, I have not heard any. When I went out for a walk this morning, I passed someone that has a hybrid car, but of course that doesn't need to be recharged.
Well, Barb and I can't come up there till they put electric sockets in.
They had a car show. There's a sister community called Heritage Village, which is composed of townhouses. If you want to be in a townhouse, that's the last thing I want. I gave up a house. But they had a car show over there, and they had a lady with a Tesla. Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to her, and she was telling me all about it. They were planning a trip down southwest somewhere, and on the screen, she pulled up the screen. It showed the route they were taking and each charging station on the way. So that was kind of interesting. Yeah, that car show was interesting. They had the electric car. They had antiques there. They had a Cadillac convertible back in the 60s. You know, one of those canal boat size. I think it was a half a block long. So they have a lot of special activities like that. It keeps life interesting.
Vic, when you require extra transportation for you want to go to a doctor and you don't want to drive yourself, do they bill you for that, or do they provide
Yes.
you?
No, nothing's free.
That's what I thought, but I wanted to, you know.
Now you get, excuse me a minute while I dismiss tonight I'm having a Zoom call with my sister and her out in Kansas City. And that was just a reminder that came up. Yeah. Yes, when I first came up here, I had some health problems. They took me to the doctor one time, and holy smokes, I think I got a bill for $500 or something. So I don't plan to get sick. And my trip to the hospital was by Bethlehem ambulance, so I suppose I'll get a bill from them at some point in time.
Call Uber. Call Uber. It's cheaper.
If you need help, call us. If we're in town, we'll do it. Call James and Janet. If we're in town, we can help you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Thank you. I do appreciate it.
Do they supply your Wi-Fi, or do you pay extra for Wi-Fi?
We play extra. It was a $50 a month charge, I think, tacked on our rent for cable.
Okay.
Vic,
Yes.
how about a barber shop, a beauty salon? You know, can you get your hair cut there? Can a woman go and get her hair done? And
Yes.
I believe they still have a little, very small grocery store type store downstairs that you can get a few supplies at.
Yes, to both of those. We were locked down here back a year or two ago during the height of the COVID problems. And so they did bring a barber in, a young lady who gave a nice haircut. They have kind of a healthcare center down there where they have exercises, special exercises and so forth. Yes, there's a nice little store here where you can get cereal and paper goods and odds and ends of things, and all kinds of greeting cards, knickknacks, small gifts that you might want to give to someone for their birthday. So that's handy.
I know I was up there visiting a friend of actually my mother's best friend before she passed away was there for quite a while, and would go up there, and we would go down to the little restaurant that's downstairs.
Yes.
Like a little cafe, and have
exactly.
lunch together, that kind of thing.
I didn't mention that, but yes, there's a formal dining room where you have, linen tablecloths and napkins and your menu. Or then if you want to go casual, they have, as Barb said, they have a cafe. And you go down there at night and get pizza or other hamburger, those kinds of things. So you do have a choice. And the weather was nice. When I first came up here, I always ate down there. And then we could take our dinner out on the patio and eat out there. Right now, they're doing some major renovations to part of the building. So the patio is full of construction equipment. But there's no eating on the patio this summer. And that job won't be finished until, I think I heard late September.
Oh.
Vic, I know the food is excellent up there. Do you know if they use an outside service like Sodexo to prepare the food, or is it 100% done by the staff themselves?
You're right. They use Sodexo for dinner, for meals. Yeah. And I said, the meals are pretty good here. They don't always hit a home run naturally. We all have our likes and dislikes, but for the most part, it's pretty good.
So what's your favorite meal?
Oh, gosh. Well, the other night we had prime ribs. That was pretty good. Last night we had barbecued ribs. That wasn't bad. Trying to think of some of the other things. Roast turkey is often on the menu. I don't have the menu. Do I have the menu sheet here? Yeah, let's see what else they have. Chicken Parmesan on Friday, or mozzarella red pepper romaine wrap. The other night we had a choice of Reuben. Well, see, this is the monthly menu.
Yeah, do you have to check it off what you want each week?
No, you go
You
down.
can just go in order.
Yeah. Well, right now we're doing buffet style. So you go down the line, you choose like last Saturday was meatballs or chicken cordon bleu. And then of course it comes with soup, salad, scallop potatoes, green beans, squash, banana cream pie, or fruit cup, rolls and butter. The one bad part about it here, I have to watch myself or I'll be going out and having to buy a whole new wardrobe.
Yeah, but
that's what happened to us at the convention.
You do have to walk a lot to get to the cafeteria or the dining hall, don't you?
Yeah, you have a choice.
No, don't you have a long walk to your dining hall?
Yes.
So you get your exercise going and coming,
Exactly. There are two adjoining buildings here with a lounge area in between. I'm at the extreme end of one building. The dining room is the extreme end of the other building. So get some exercise just going to the dining room.
Vic, do they have organized exercise programs or fitness programs that you can participate in kind of a group setting?
They used to have a yoga group with the gals. I don't think they have anymore. I'm looking at I don't see the exercise group listed. But one time they did have for the ladies, they had exercise. The other night we had a guy doing chair aerobics. You just sat in the chair and waved your arms, that sort of thing. Which is, I like to walk, so I get out and try to walk every day.
Yeah,
that's my exercise. So
do they have a gym there, like you can do some weightlifting?
Yes, they have a gym with the stationary bikes, treadmills, and some other instruments of
torture.
Torture, yes, exactly. That was the word I was looking for, Joey. I don't like to go down there. Tell me, is there anything more boring than walking on a treadmill? even though they have a TV set, you walk on the treadmill,
Yeah.
watch TV. And of course, in the wintertime, it's either walk the hallways or go down and ride the stationary bike. The other thing across the hall I didn't mention, there's a pool table, and they have a team that here once a week they go down and play pool. Back before the COVID nonsense, the pool team used to go to Country Meadows, on a challenge, and some of the other retirement organization, but I don't think they're doing that now.
What's the age of the oldest person who's living there?
That would be Elsie at 101 and a half. 101. Sharp as a tack. Last week I played the pinochle with her. She kept score. She marches down the hallway with just the cane. A large number of people go down with their those push walkers.
Oh yeah.
A lot of folks using those, but not Elsie. She has a cane, but she's incredible.
That's fantastic.
Last year when she turned 100, they gave her a nice party, nice picnic.
So what's the youngest person staying there?
I really don't know, although I've gotten to become very good friends with a retired school teacher by the name of Wayne, who also is an avid golfer. And I think Wayne he said 83. 83, 84. He might be one of the younger ones, certainly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Vic, what's the ratio of men to women out there?
Well, as I said before, I think there's 5 single males and a gazillion widows.
Why do you think he's always smiling?
Of course, I can't tell you how many, but they were far outnumbered.
Vic, I can solve your hot or cold car problem. You can get one of the newer cars that's got a remote start, so you could sit there in the lobby, start your car for 15 minutes, and it would be either hot or cold when you get there.
I have thought about that, Bill. Yeah, that's been on my thoughts. Maybe next to yeah.
Barb could probably help explain this next question so that people don't realize the Moravian Church itself does not run Moravian Hall Square. They've got some control, but not a lot of control. I think they were the ones that helped start it and everything, just like the Moravian in Bethlehem. The one in
Apparently
Bethlehem.
a satellite group. I don't know exactly the organization, called Morning Star.
Yes.
And apparently the Morning Star group is the one that holds the title and runs Moravian Hall Square.
Yep.
But they are, shall I say, affiliated or with the Moravian Church. The Moravian Church, I guess, started it.
Yeah, the Moravian Church basically started Moravian Hall Square so many years ago, but it is not run by the Moravian Church. The Moravian Church certainly supports it, and the chapel there's usually a Moravian chaplain on staff.
Yes.
At Moravian Hall Square. They have Sunday morning services.
Yes.
And generally several Moravian churches from the Bethlehem Easton area will go there and assist with some programs, sometimes on a Sunday afternoon. After the regular church service, the church choir or bell choir and minister will go and have a service there for the residents and that kind of thing. So
chapel here is at 2:30, and somewhere the chaplain that had been here for many years retired, I think back in June or July.
Yeah.
So they have some other supply chaplains come in.
Well, Otto Drydoppel had been the chaplain there for many years, and he just retired.
Yes.
And I'm trying to think, I do know who's coming in and I
Bennett,
can't
Dave
for the life
Bennett.
of me remember the name, but I do
Dave
know. who's
Bennett,
coming
Barb.
in. I'm sorry?
Isn't Dave Bennett going there?
Yes.
Yes.
You're right. Dave Bennett, who was president of the Eastern District of the Moravian Churches, is going to be your new chaplain
Okay.
out
They
there.
said they have a chapel service Sunday afternoon. That the chapel here is lovely. Now, my sister is in a facility similar to this out near Kansas City, but it is bare bones compared to this place. Their chapel is like a wide hallway. That's run by the Catholic Church. It's very plain. Their dining room is like a college dormitory or a college dorm dining room. But she gets good care, so that's the main thing. The rest is just kind of icing on the cake, the fact that this place is very attractive. The nice dining room is lovely. The dining room is kind of divided in half. The formal dining room, and then right next to it, it really is just an extension, but it's separated by half wall, is what they call the lounge. There's a bar. You can get anything you want to drink, even though it's a church related. A lot of people have wine for dinner. Nice fireplace. So it's a very attractive room. So this place overall is, the hallways are lined with a lot of pictures, paintings, so forth. It's really an attractive place.
Many years ago, when they were building the chapel and finalized the chapel, Barb and I got an invitation to attend the dedication ceremony. We didn't realize it at the time. We supported the chapel with, I don't know, a $250 or a $500 donation. I don't remember because it was a long time ago. But we got there only to find out that, quote unquote, our donation put them over the top so they could finish the chapel, so to speak. So it was like quite a surprise that we got there and they honored us for a very small contribution, but it was the thing that put the thermometer, I guess, at the top and put it over the top. So we were there when they did the dedication on the chapel, quite a few years ago.
Yeah, over the pulpit area is a beautiful stained glass window, a round stained glass window. They don't have pews, they're chairs.
Yep.
And so of course they face the platform and the altar during church services. Then they turn the chairs 90 degrees, drop the screen, and that's where they have them show the movies at night. And then they have, like I said, they have different programs during the week. Tonight is Glenn Miller. Yes.
What level of care is available there at Moravian Hall Square? What level of care?
There are two staff nurses on hand, so you can go down and for minor sort of things. Of course, major, like I had a heart attack a couple of weeks ago. They took one look at me and gave me a free ride in the ambulance down to Anderson. But yeah, they do the COVID testing. Because I volunteer and am in contact with various residents, I have to get the COVID test, which I had, I guess, one day last week. But they have two nurses, so they're very good.
They have skilled care?
Pardon?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Barb.
They do have a skilled nursing care unit,
Okay.
and they
Yes.
also do have an Alzheimer's unit
Yes.
at Moravian Hall Square. So, there's all levels of care. Once you're there, whatever care you need, short of being in the hospital, can be taken care of.
So you can get assisted care there where you need somebody to help you.
Yes.
My very good friend Gordon and Beverly were close friends of ours. Beverly passed away. Gordon moved up here shortly after I did. I'm trying to think back. Probably around the first year, Gordon started showing symptoms of dementia. So he's down in the memory care unit right now, unfortunately. Sad because he was a one time I understand he was the top engineer at Ingersoll, and now he's down in the dementia unit. So you just never know what life is going to hand you. So enjoy each every day. Give thanks for it.
All right. Anybody else have any questions for Vic? Well, that was a great presentation about the community where you live, Vic. And we should take a trip out to see you sometime after when COVID gets better.
I hope you will. Yeah, the dining room is now open for guests. So if you want to come and have dinner with me sometime, just let me know.
Okay.
Our Kiwanis Club has at least once gone up for a lunchtime meeting at Moravian Hall Square, and then we got to visit what the facility is. That's quite a few years ago. So it's something that we could plan a road trip in the future.
Sounds like a road trip.
It sounds like it would be fun.
My retirees group did the same thing, Bill. They came up, had lunch here.
That would be fun. Why don't you check into it for us? And I mean, right now might not be the time, but you know, sometime in the upcoming future, very near future.
Sure.
Hey Vic, when you were looking for a place to stay, when you were thinking about moving out of your house, did you look at other places as well? And then you chose Moravian Hall Square?
I probably should have, Jim, but I didn't. And I'll tell you why. Because I had several good friends up here. I've been up here as their guest. I had a little bit of acquaintance with them, between the Kiwanis and my retirees group. So to be honest with you, I didn't even visit Country Meadows, although for our retirees group, we had a presentation by the development director from Country Meadows. She came over and told us all about it. I'm sure it's very nice. But I think I had, at that time, I had one friend at Country Meadows. I had a lot of friends up here at Moravian.
Yeah, that would have been, that was probably a wise choice.
That kind of tipped the scales and
absolutely.
Yeah.
We've had a fair number of Easton Kiwanians and Palmer Kiwanians who have moved to Moravian Hall Square, and they've all now gone beyond.
And we want to keep Vic around for a while.
I'm doing my best.
We want to celebrate 100 years with you.
Well, I'm not sure I'll make the 100, but I have a birthday coming up in a couple of weeks, so I'll just be glad for the next birthday.
How old are you going to be, Vic?
92.
That's what I thought. Oh, great.
92, yeah.
That's a great number. That's a great number. Well, thank you so much for your presentation today. And thank you for, getting all the speakers together. We couldn't do too much during this COVID year, but, giving, people that stepped up and took on those finding speakers for the month, that was really, really important to do, and gave you some direction. For our upcoming Zoom meetings next week is really important. You guys are all going to be there, right? It's Jen DeBell, Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Association for the Education of Young Children, and Kim Early, Director of Public Policy and Advocacy for PennAC, which is the acronym for such. And we thank Jan Schwartz for putting this together. And we are so looking forward to it. We're going to get out there and promote it as much as we can. How many people can we have on our Zoom, Bill?
100.
How many?
100.
100. Okay. All right. Well, I hope all of you will take the time to come on and be with us. There may be even a surprise or two, who knows? But anyway, come on and, learn a little bit more about why it's really important that we look to advocating for our young children, and no more so than right now. And for the childcare industry, they are in some serious, there's serious need out there, and it's only going to increase. So, please join us next week. And yes, Bill?
I was just going to say to Vic, does anybody ask you what you'd like to have for your birthday? Like your family or anybody ask you what you'd like to have for your birthday? I think his screen may have frozen.
It did, it froze.
Yeah, it froze.
Vic, are you there?
Oh, there you go.
There he
Vic.
is. Oh, he unfroze.
There you go.
It was
Vic,
like back in time.
Vic, has anybody asked you what you want for your birthday at your age now?
Not really.
Okay, well, I was going to tell you, the excuse I use, and you've got a few more years on me. All I ask when Barb says, "What do you want for your birthday?" I said, "Another birthday."
Good move. I have a unused Applebee's gift card that I got for my birthday last year. So
All right.
I need to call somebody, some of my former neighbors, maybe buy Dixon or someone to go with me, or my daughter Carolyn, or to use up that. I guess there's no time limit on it. So
Where's your favorite place to go to eat?
Applebee's is one of my favorite. Marblehead is another. Those two places are probably 1 and 2. So
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. We have September 8th is Bloom CEO Carol Anderson and Vicki Nesbitt. They're going to talk about, we're going to be at Serve that week. So we're going to come and gather together. How did that work last week when we were in that U shape? Any comments about that? Did that work for everybody? Or you think that we should go back to being in tables, groupings? Any comments there that can make
Well, if
this
you're going to
better?
have a speaker or you're going to use a TV, I think it should always be in a U shape. That way, nobody has to sit and turn around, and they can always add seats on the inside because the tables are wide enough to have people sitting across from each other. And that would mean only a few people who came late would have to turn around and watch it.
Okay, so you thought that everybody would agree that that worked out fairly well? So when I talk to them, everybody's okay with that?
Yeah, I like it better.
Okay.
Would work any
All
better if you flip the U over. And then the servers could come in from closer to the kitchen, for instance.
Yeah, but the
Ah.
TV is at the one end of the room.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be using the TV, it has to be, facing
Well,
the
then, but
TV.
then the TV and the head table, so to speak, would be right there, same place.
Right. Well, they also have that room off to the side though, where they get all the drinks and things like that. So I don't know. I mean, it's a few more steps, but.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Work out well,
I'll give them that information and see what works better for them. But if it works for you, then that's the way we'll have it.
The only reason I think they were coming in the other direction was I closed the door because of the sound from the overhead speakers out in the main dining area. And so I think that's probably why they didn't come in and out that door, since the other end was open.
Well, we can address that issue too about just, cutting off the music, and because we don't really need the music while we're there at that point.
Yeah, I hope
It can be, not in our room, we don't.
Mm.
So anyway, we can do that. Any other suggestions about when we're meeting in person?
I think it also, having that U shape made it easy for the servers too, because they didn't have to, go across anybody or, that kind of thing. They could just come right into that U and, keep track of who orders what. So I think that worked well for them too.
That's right.
It is nice to see everyone in person.
It was good to see everybody there. It was
Sure.
nice to see Sarah. I hadn't seen Sarah for a long time last week, so it was great. It was
Yeah.
great. Thank you so much to everybody, and, the big event on September 15th, the other Zoom that we really want you to encourage you to be there. We're excited about that, and the first responders, that event's, we've got some big things happening. So it's going to be a busy month for us next month. And I appreciate everybody. Ken, thank you so much for everything that you've done. And especially, the foundation. We're about to actually beg. So anyway, we want to make the first responders event a really good event. And we may just need a little bit of help this year, and next year, we'll try to do something a little different. So with that being said, I adjourn, this meeting, and thank you all for everything that you do, Walt, everything you do every day. Appreciate it. Mentoring from Neil and Sue and Terry and Roger. All of you have been so great, so supportive. So thank you so much. And Bill, thank you for always getting that stuff together. Now, is everybody waving bye-bye?
Thank you,
Bye,
Vic.
Roger.
Thank you. Thank you, Vic. Great job.
You're welcome.
Very
My
nice.
pleasure.
Thank you.